Okay, I'm forwarding you a big email.
All right.
So this is, hopefully this works, to Joyce. Joyce Clark, it popped right up. Okay, I just sent it. You should have it momentarily,
Okay.
I hope.
Now
Good
I gotta-
morning, ladies. Can you hear me?
Or good afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, that's better.
Okay.
More.
Hi, baby.
Okay. So Joyce, let me know when you get it.
Okay, I'm on my email, haven't got it yet.
Well, it'll take a while just because that's the way it is.
I'm in no hurry.
Okay, and so somewhere I had a list and the list disappeared. That's okay. Life is, what can I say? All right, all right, let me,
Up Carol and Julia. Okay. Starting next week. Test the
the email
download.
I sent, it should be right, it's way at the bottom. It's a very long email, sorry.
Okay, I'm downloading it now.
Excellent, excellent. And
Oh,
so,
there it is.
got it? Excellent.
Yep.
They had a lot of used copies that you could get on Amazon if anybody wants to go. If you go to Amazon, they had several different ones. They started at $6 or $7. If they say they're in very good condition, I've done it twice now with different books and they've come in brand new condition. I got it within 3 or 4 days of ordering it, and I don't believe this book was ever used before. So it was $7 instead of, I think the new, for a brand new one, I think it's 26, $28. I mean, it's an absurd difference in price between new and used.
And this is what it's called, Shalom.
Shalom Aleichem.
Okay.
by
Is that the
Noah-
name of the book?
Yeah, name of the book, and it's by Noah Golinkin.
Okay, I'll look on Amazon when we're done.
That's the one that Carol uses.
Okay.
Yes, that's the one I'm using. I have, someone printed it for me, so I have mine in a loose leaf binder because it was printed out. And, okay, so, no, I like to, hold on. I like to start promptly, and of course, my day has totally gotten away from me. Life gets complicated. What can I say?
Yes.
So I want to welcome you all to Beginner Reading Hebrew. So Geraldine, this is going to be a total review. We're starting from the beginning.
All right, so I'll be from the beginning, wouldn't hurt. All right.
Okay, I just wanted to let you know, I'm so, because I thought you were put into an advanced beginner class, which is not what I'm teaching. So for those of you who are new, I'm happy to meet all of you. And I was teaching a class starting that started last fall. We went through all of this material. And then at some time in, I don't know, December, give or take, I reached out to Women's League and they said that I would keep my same class and we would become advanced beginner. And then they changed their minds.
Oh, I
I
didn't
think-
know that.
I thought, well, yeah, so I don't know. So now I'm teaching rank beginners again. So that's why Geraldine,
Probably because they needed a second class because they had originally sent out the note and they were going to do it 10 o'clock in the morning. And I guess they had so many people that they said they'd do one in the afternoon. And they gave us a choice. So you got reassigned, I think, to that class is what happened.
that's exactly what happened. So because they had more people than I thought, and I did send something I thought to all of my older students saying that, but not older, I mean, my previous grouping of students.
I
So
understand.
when we're done, Geraldine, I will try to figure out what class you've been assigned to and send you the information.
I would-
I can't,
Thank you,
I
Carol.
can't, it's hard for me to multitask, unfortunately, because It just never seems to work for me. Right now, I've got an iPad. My computer is open on my lap. I've got an iPhone handy, so I'm very well connected, but can't look at all three things at the same time. Okay, so I'm delighted to meet all of you. You should have received an email from me earlier this week that introduced myself, more or less, which is that I live in New York City and have for over 30 years. It's amazing. I can't believe I've lived here that long. And I grew up in the Boston area. And as I said in my email, I have a degree in mathematics from what used to be Simmons College and is now Simmons University. And I also have a degree in Jewish education from Hebrew College, which at one time was in Brookline, Massachusetts, and is now located in Newton, Massachusetts. Either way, that's my background. And I've been teaching adults to read Hebrew for well over 20 years. I really, really like teaching adults. And I've taught children. And as I said, I really like teaching adults. It's different. So what I wanted to do for this session today was to go around the room, as they say, and have everybody introduce themselves and or introduce herself and tell me a little bit about yourself and what you hope to achieve from this class. And so let me start with Jan, please.
I'm Jan Hirsch, and I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I have a very well-connected, very vibrant Jewish community that supports 3 synagogues and the Jewish Day School and a Jewish Community Center, and it's wonderful. And I'm a member of both the Conservative and the Reform Temple. I grew up in a little town in Louisiana where we had very, very small community and next to no education. So I never learned Hebrew growing up. And I did take a beginning Hebrew class about 2 years ago through the Conservative, I think the American Jewish University. And I learned a lot. I got through the alphabet and was actually doing pretty well, and then didn't keep up with it. So now when I go to services at our Reformed Temple, I can somewhat follow, except they go too fast for me. So I thought if I took it again and tried to stay with it more now that I'm back going to services, that I could get it this time.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. I think you will. My advice will to everybody, and in terms of being able to follow along and participate in services, is practice, practice, practice.
Yep.
The more you practice, the easier it becomes, and the quicker it becomes. I had a college friend who was from, I'm pretty sure from Birmingham, and I went there once to visit her. The family, her name was Diana Nathan. The last name is Nathan, and her father, I believe, owned a clothing store, I think. Anyway, it's a long time ago.
It's a beautiful, beautiful city. It's just one
Yeah.
of the prettiest cities in the country.
Yeah, long time ago. Anyway, Joyce, please.
Hi, I'm Joyce Clark. I lived in Baltimore, Maryland most of my life. About 4 years ago, we moved to Hanover, Pennsylvania, which is a very small town that is very not Jewish. Baltimore had a large Jewish population, and that's what I was used to. Here, there might be a sprinkling of Jews here and there. I got bat mitzvahed as an adult. And what I want to get out of the class is to be able to read Hebrew. When I go to services, most of what I know is just from going all the time and listening.
Yeah.
But I can't follow in the book whatsoever. So I'm hoping to learn a little bit.
I think you will, or at least I hope so.
Me
I
too.
know you will.
Irene,
Yes, my name is Irene Spector, and I grew up in suburban Washington, D.C., so I am familiar with Baltimore.
Okay.
When I was a kid, women just didn't necessarily get bat mitzvahed. So I was not really given an opportunity to learn Hebrew. And I did do a bat mitzvah as an adult. I live here in the Bay Area. I live in Saratoga, California.
Oh.
But, I memorized it, and I did about 2 years ago, I bought one of the great courses that teaches biblical Hebrew. Really good, by the way, because you can just listen to it over and over and over again, but I haven't been very studious as far as, following up and doing the homework so much. So I really do need to just start all over again. I mean, I can follow the Hebrew, but I am not comfortable getting up and leading anything or that kind of thing, because yes, I can follow,
Yep. Okay, so thank you. I think you'll find that at the end of this class, you might even be able to get up and lead,
Yeah.
which will be good, of course. And Elizabeth, please, if you could unmute. Yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
okay. Okay, yeah, I'm Elizabeth Samuels, and I live in Portland, Oregon. I have a similar background. I studied Hebrew. I lost track of how many years ago, but probably 20 or so. And then I totally didn't. And now I'm back again. So, and way back, my son is 26, but at the bar mitzvah, I read from the Torah, but it was all memorizing. But I loved the feeling, and now I'm going to services more, and I'd love to get up there again, but I do have trouble I follow, but I need a lot of review. So I'm
Well,
back.
that's what we're here for. And so Geraldine, since you're here, you might as well introduce yourself, even though you probably will be going to another class.
Well, I'll miss you, Carol, for sure, but I will continue.
Thank you.
I'm in Burke Burnett, Texas, a small, tiny town, 10,000 people. I was raised with Jewish parents. I'm born Jewish, but I live in a town. I'm just one of 3 Jews. I'm the only practicing one. And that's just the truth of it. And my parents chose, when I was born in 1941, that they were going to assimilate. They didn't want to be a Jewish family like their parents were. And so we were raised very relaxed. We knew we were Jewish, no doubt about that. But the fact remained that we didn't practice. And so when I left home at the age of 28, it was my choice to become more Jewish, be who I am, who I was meant to be. And so Carol is helping me do that. I have, like most of you, gone to synagogue on a regular basis, and much of it is in my memory from hearing it over and over and over. Now I can read it more fluently, but not as good as it should be. I can follow along. I get lost, and I follow pick up my point, but I need more work, and I do practice, and so I go from there. But I'm sorry to leave you, Carol, but I'm leaving you ladies in good hands.
Well,
They need to go
thank you.
slower in the services. They need to read Hebrew much slower in the services, so those of us who don't read well can follow.
Absolutely.
Well, interesting that you say that. And yes, you're right. But there, for those who read more quickly, going slow can be burdensome as well.
Oh, I understand. I get it.
Basically, one needs a happy medium, whatever
Yeah.
that means, whatever that means.
If I ever
I-
find a happy medium, I want to hire her. I've looked my whole life for happy mediums, can't find any.
I think we're here because we all want to be the best that we can be. And that's just going to take time and practice.
For sure. I remember when I used that at a long time ago, when after my father, Zichrono Livracha, after my father passed away, I decided I would go to morning minyan every day at my synagogue. And at the time, the cantor at the time said to me, Carol, it will get easier for you the more you practice. And I already knew how to read Hebrew quite well at that point, but I still was, I'm more slow than others because that's the way it is. And she was right. the more you practice, you go over and over and over and over it, the faster you'll become. It's like, take something like a national anthem, for example. We all know it more or less, and we can sing it probably quite rapidly. But take a little child who's just learning it, they can't sing it quite as rapidly. They don't know it as well. And I think that the same thing can be said for learning any new language or new text. So, okay. So to start off, I wanted to let you know.
I have a question before
Yes,
we
of course.
start.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Are these being recorded that we can somehow go back and watch them during the week?
Yeah, okay. Thank you for saying that, because I did want to mention that. So Joyce, thank you.
Mhm.
All of these sessions are recorded. I will send you the information as to how you can access the recording.
Okay, good.
What happens is that at some point, I'm guessing some point of time, perhaps on a Monday, I'm making that up because I don't really know, but approximately Monday, someone at Women's League goes through and edits. I use that word in quotes because I do not know what they do, but they edit the recording, make sure it's fine, and then they upload it to their site. Now,
Okay.
during my last class, there were one time, one of the women reached out and said, I had to miss class last week. I'm sorry. I had things I had to get done, whatever the reason was. I'm looking for the recording. I can't find it. So I went online, looked for the recording, couldn't find it myself. So I knew that the person was at least doing it correctly. And I reached out to Women's League, and Women's League confirmed that something happened where it didn't get uploaded. So as soon as I found out it was uploaded, I let the person who asked know so they could review it. So I don't believe that the recordings go up until Tuesday or Wednesday.
Carol, usually Wednesday is when I've been able to pull them back up again and review. So
Okay, there
Wednesday
you
is a
go.
safe bet.
Okay, and you just go to the Women's League website?
Yes, but I'll send you the particulars.
Okay, thank you.
That way,
I need that too, because I'm going to
Oh.
be out next week. So I
Yeah.
would be delighted to have that. Thank you.
of course, I'll send it to everybody. Basically, if I'm sending a communication, I send it to everybody.
Okay.
And you could, my feeling is if you want to ignore it, you can ignore it. And if you want to pay attention to it, you can pay attention to it.
Carol, is this the full class now with the exception of Geraldine?
I was told there would be 5 or 6. So right now there are, if we don't count Geraldine, there are 4, but I think there are more. Because there's a woman who I was told that was going to join that she's not here at all, because I've already communicated with her. And there was somebody else I think I communicated with who said something about the time and it got mistyped. I don't remember who that was.
Oh, that was me.
That was
me.
you. Okay, so no, so all right, yeah. I think this is it. I was trying desperately as we first were starting to find my list, and I couldn't find it because it is lost somewhere on my computer. That means that I have it, but I just couldn't quickly call it up.
Understood.
So I will reach out to everybody and see, but it's going to be 5 or 6 people probably, which is actually quite nice because it's one screen on my iPad, which means I call people on order of the screens.
Okay.
So that's how I do it. And by the way, you can interrupt me at any time and ask any question. I don't think anything is a stupid question. We're here to learn, and everybody learns at a different speed. And I try to pace the class so that everybody gets maximum out of it. Okay, so Hebrew consists of letters. I always like to call them letters, and a friend of mine recommended that I refer to the letters as consonants because that is what they are. So, and Hebrew has 22 consonants in the alphabet. And the vowels are dots and dashes that primarily appear underneath the letter. Occasionally, they appear alongside the letter. And then sometimes it's on top of the letter, but that's rarer. So that when you're reading Hebrew, it's very phonetic. I like to tell the following story, picking on my sister. I'm 7 years older than she. When I went to school and learned how to read, I learned that a letter had a sound like B for B, and the A had a sound of A mostly. And so I could easily sound out new words like baby or ball or whatever. When my sister was in first grade and learning to read, they had a new system that they were teaching. By the way, they dumped it because it didn't work. But the system was one of recognition, that you were supposed to look at a word and recognize it and know that the word said calendar, for example. But if you saw the word catch, you were lost because all you knew, you didn't know that it was at or cat. All right. If you knew how to recognize calendar, you didn't know what to do with cat because it didn't look like calendar. Hebrew is the phonetic. You learn the sound of the letter or consonant, the sound of the vowel, you put it together and you get your words. So it's very phonetic. And if a Hebrew letter says, is a B sound, it's always a B sound. It doesn't change. My example from English is as follows. The letter combination GH. That's a tough one. Okay, because the word T-O-U-G-H is tough. It's a PH sound at the end, right? But you have the word, for example, through, T-H-R-O-U-G-H. You don't pronounce the G-H at all. It's silent there. Then there's the word ghost, G-H-O-S-T. And that G-H is like a G. So now we have G-H three ways. I think that if one were learning English, especially to read English, that person would have a very difficult time. How do you know? Is it a G? Is it an F? Or is it silent? You don't have that in Hebrew. It is what it is. The B sound is always B. And that's it. Any questions? Okay. There are no capital letters in Hebrew. So that's another thing that's easy. It's just, you've got the letter or the consonant and you just keep reading it. There are double and triple letters. What I mean is this. There are at least two letters that have the sound of the T. There are two letters that have the sound of the S. Okay. And people often ask, well, why are there two letters with the sound of an S? Or why are there two letters with the sound of a T? Well, I don't have a really good answer for that other than to say Hebrew is a language that's what, 5,000 years old? More older than that, maybe. And maybe way back then, the letter was pronounced differently. I'm not a linguist or whatever the science is of speaking. And so it could very well have been that the letters were pronounced differently way back when. And as it, comes down in time, this is how we now pronounce it.
Carol, you said
Yes.
there were no capital letters in Hebrew.
Right.
Capital letters in English help in a big way identify a new sentence.
I'm glad
So-
you mentioned that. So if you're reading something, except for reading Torah, so put that aside. But if you're reading a text or you're reading a newspaper or whatever, there are periods. There are
So-
periods that'll tell you there's an end of a sentence.
Okay.
I should call them punctuation marks. There are punctuation marks. there are commas, periods, exclamation points, question marks, semicolons, colons, so that you know that you've reached the end of a sentence. Yeah,
So the
definitely.
punctuation is the same or similar to English.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you for asking the question.
But not in the Torah, right?
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up, Irene. So the Torah is a scroll, has no vowels, no punctuation, no anything. So basically, if you are a Torah reader, you need to study very hard to know where you are at. As now, some people, memorize it because it's just easier. So yeah, with the exception of the Torah scroll, everything else would have the punctuation and the vowels. Now, the one other place you would not find vowels per se, it would be in an Israeli newspaper. Okay, and I like to tell people, people have said to me, how do people read newspapers if there are no vowels? Well, the answer is very simple. If I were to spell the following, you might want to write this down, or you don't have to, I don't care. I'm going to write it down so I spell it right. Hold on. Okay. TDY SFRDY. I'll say that again. TDY SFRDY.
Tuesday is for today is Friday.
Right.
correct?
Yeah, exactly.
You just
Okay, I
fill it in
left-
with your brain.
Okay, I left out the vowels on purpose. You can read that without the vowels. I mean, it's harder in English, but what I'm saying is that once you know the basics, and I'm not saying that you folks can get to this that quickly, but if you're an Israeli and you've been reading Hebrew your whole entire life, just like we've all read English our whole entire lives, we can read what I just spelled. You can
Mhm.
read Hebrew without vowels because you just know it. Okay. 5 of the letters change their form at the end of the word. So we will be learning 5 letters that have a different form in the beginning and middle versus the end. That makes it a little more complicated, I get it. But again, as we go through, you'll see that I think it's not all that necessarily that difficult. Okay, does anyone have any questions? All right, then I would like to hop right in, start right in. And okay, we're going to start on page, it says in my printed book, it says page 2.
That's the M page.
Yeah,
M
the
is
one that
another-
says, yeah, it says M on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, now, I do want to tell you that I know that on Zoom, they have something called a whiteboard. And for me, I can't navigate that. Part of it may be because I'm using an iPad as opposed to a computer. So what I do is I write things with my big black marker, and I hold it up to the screen. I took the blur off and you should be able to see it. Now, of course, right now I'm looking for something that decided to take a walk. Give me a minute while I go look for this thing that walked away from me. I try to be organized, and my sister says it'll never happen. She knows me too well. I think I just found what I was looking for. In one of my classes, because I use, I keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. In one of my classes, they sent me paper with. Oh, somebody has a big dog barking, which is okay, by the way. I don't care. Okay. We'll start from scratch. Here we go. Okay, so. Sorry. Got it. Okay,
Wasn't a big dog, wasn't a big dog, Carol. It's two small ones.
that's okay. If they want to join us, they certainly can. Okay, so I always tell people I'm not an artist, but if I were an artist and I was drawing a picture of a mountain, that mountain might look like this. Okay, so that's the way to remember that this is the letter mem. It has the sound of an M. This is one of the letters that will change its shape at the end of a word. On this page, of course, it doesn't because we haven't learned it yet, but this has the sound of the M. Okay. Oh, of course, you all know that Hebrew, it goes from right to left. I forgot to mention that, but then again. Now, we are going to learn 3 vowels right now. The first vowel is a single dot under the letter, and it is the E sound. It's the long E. So me, for example. The second letter, the second vowels, pardon me. The second vowel, okay, it is, again, if I were an artist, this is what I would draw. I would tell you that this is my idea of what a snake looks like. Please notice the 2 dots adjacent to each other that are the snake's eyes. So think of a snake. That's the Hebrew for, that's the A, the long A, A. All right, so we have 1 dot is an E, 2 dots are an A. And the third one is the F sound. F. Now, just 1 second. And I have 2 ways to help you remember that that's the F. I just saw one of my ways, and of course it's gone, but that's beside the point. Things like to take walks in my apartment. Everything disappears. So first, if I were to draw a face and put in the eyes and the nose and no mouth, I'd look at this and I would say, that looks ugly. That's ugly. The other way to remember that that's the F sound is, in a minute, I could draw a picture of my pet. My pet. Also F. You see, that kind of looks like a cat maybe, but whatever it is, it's my pet. So again, that's the F sound. 2 ways to remember that we have the F. We have this and we have this. It always will look the same. Any questions? Okay, so with what I just said in mind, we're on page 2. And please read, I'm going to call people in the order I see them on my screen. So Jan, you're up first, please, line number 1. You need to unmute. Okay.
Well, this is like singing me, 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 me.
Exactly.
Okay. Me, 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 me.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, Joyce, line 2, please.
Long A, so it's A. May?
Yep, you got it.
Okay, May.
Very good, excellent, thank you. Irene, if you could unmute and do line number 3, please.
Meh, 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 meh.
Okay, all right, so Elizabeth, you're the lucky one to get the more complicated line on line 4.
Me, 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 me.
Okay, excellent. Geraldine, I'm gonna, you can read line 5, even though you've already gone through this, that's fine.
Oh, all right. May.
Excellent, thank you. Jan, line 6, please.
Meme, 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 meme.
Excellent. Joyce, line 7, please.
Me, May,
Excellent. Okay, you didn't get stumped. Good.
and then May, me,
Yep.
me,
Okay, wait a
May.
minute, wait. The third one.
Oh,
Oh, the third one is the ek, so it's
Right.
mech me,
Not with no K or anything, it's just me.
mech me,
Really better, yes.
me mech, and may mech,
No
No.
K at the end.
no mech.
Yes. Okay. The other thing I always tell my students is we in English are, in my opinion, are lazy speakers. I am, after I finish teaching the class, I'm going to the market. There is no such word as going. But we are lazy speakers in English. It's going, right?
Oh.
I'm emphasizing the G at the end because the word is going. You have to be really precise in Hebrew and don't add, another thing is that I grew up in New England, in Boston. And so basically, if I am going to PARK my car, I'm going to park it. Okay, because that's how we speak in New England. I don't speak like that. I park my car, but my mother and sister say park. So you have to be much more precise in Hebrew. There are parts of this country, and I forget where the word IDEA is pronounced idea with an R there somehow.
Idea. Idea.
And it's not, it's idea. Okay, so you have to be much more precise in Hebrew. Don't add letters that aren't there, please, and don't leave them out the way some of us do it in English. All right, so we were on
8.
line 8. Thank you for keeping me straight here, and I think I'm up to Irene.
Memi. Ma.
No, we haven't got my yet. That's the long
Mem.
A.
Oh, mem. It would be like snakes. May,
Yes.
me,
Yes, excellent.
and then may.
Yeah,
And then me, meh,
yep.
and then may.
One
No,
dot.
me, meh.
Right, excellent, excellent. Okay, you got it. Elizabeth, line 9, please.
Okay. Meme, meme, meme. No, I mean, meme,
Yep,
me, 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 me.
yes, excellent, thank you. Geraldine, why don't you do line 10, please?
Me.
Excellent, excellent. Okay. A second letter. Now this letter. Give me a minute, I'll get a new piece of paper. So this new letter that we're learning now is the Lamed. It has the sound of an L. And let me show you how you can easily remember it. Purple highlighter. Okay, so I just drew the letter out and notice I stuck in purple on top of the letter, the English letter L. You see how it makes an L at the top? See that? Yes. So that helps you remember that that's the L sound. All right. So with that in mind, Jan, please.
Lee, 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 Lee.
Okay, Joyce, please.
That is the A sound, so it's lay, lay,
Yep.
lay, 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 lay.
Yes, excellent. Irene, please, line 3.
La, 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 la.
Okay. Okay, so, at the beginning of any reading text, there's always, what I call nonsense syllables. We'll get to real words in a bit, but right now we're practicing. Elizabeth, please, line 4.
Lily, Lila, 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 Lee.
Yes, very nice. Thank you. Geraldine, 5, please.
Lay, 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 yeah, lay, 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 lee, lay, 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 lee, lay, lay.
Very nice. Thank you. Okay, Jan, little more complicated for line 6.
Mele, leme, leme,
Yep.
meli, leme, mele, mele.
Yes, very nice. Thank you. Joyce, please, line 7.
Medle, med, say, le,
Yep.
mele. Oh, it's the same. Me,
Yeah.
mele, 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 mele.
Okay, but remember those 3 dots are meh,
Eh.
meh.
Me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So please don't confuse it. Okay. Let me see. So now I'm up to Irene, which is, what am
8.
I on? Line
8.
7?
8, line
8.
8.
8. Okay. Thank you.
So it's me, mel, me, mele,
Excellent.
me, mel.
Yes, very nice. Thank you. Elizabeth, line 9, please.
Me, Mela, me, Mela, 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 Mela,
Yep.
Mela, Mela.
Yes, very nice. Thank you. Geraldine, you can do line 10, please.
Mele, 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 mele.
Okay,
No,
thank,
the last one is man, man.
no, the last one's Mela as well. They're all Mela.
Mele, yes, I'm sorry, yes. Look,
Okay, so now when we go to page 4, we're going to learn another letter. Now, this letter in this form is only at the end of a word. Only at the end of a word. It has the sound of huh. Okay, so there's this German guy, I think he was German. Anyway, he is a composer. His name is B-A-C-H.
Ah,
Ach,
Bach. Bach. That's the sound, the huh sound, Bach. Okay, so that's what this letter looks like. We're going to skip line 1 since there's really nothing there because there are no vowels, duh. And we'll start with line number 2, and I believe I'm at Jan, please.
Can you just say again what the sound is?
It's the huh. It's the CH that's in the back of the throat. It's really, I think they call it a German CH.
Okay,
Like the guy, like that composer guy, Bach.
like Bach.
Bach.
me, May, mech, mech, mich, mech.
Yes, excellent. Okay, Joyce, line 3, please.
La,
Okay, wait a minute. So before you go on, let me just point out something that's important. So hold on. Let me get my piece of paper. What I like to teach my students, we're on line 3, correct? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the first word on line 3. And so what I like to teach my students is that the best way to do this is to cover up what you don't need. Okay, so we start with, let me do this. Oh, welcome, Sylvia. Okay, so anyways, this isn't working the way I want it to work. But anyways, you start with the first consonant and vowel combination. You get that in your head, li, and then add the last one, lich, lich.
lich.
Yeah.
Lich, okay. And then so it's lech,
Yep, excellent, excellent.
lech, lech,
Yep.
lee,
Leaf.
leaf,
Yep.
leak. And then lach, lach,
Okay, no, that's the long A, remember from the snake?
A, so that's long A, it's L. A, lech,
Lech, excellent, excellent, you got it. Okay, Irene, line 4, please.
So it'd be leaf.
No, the two dots next to each other, like the pair of snake's eyes.
This is,
A.
I'm on 3.
You're on
my-
3, I think you should be on 4.
Oh, I'm on 4. Okay. So it'd be lach,
It's, remember the two dots next to each other?
lech,
Yeah,
lech, lelech,
Mm.
lach.
okay,
le-
stop, please. We've learned 3 vowel signs, none of which is ah. So we have the F, the A, and the E. So-
lech,
So that one, the 1, 2, 3, the 4th one is lech,
lelech,
lech.
so it's le and then lech, right?
Yes,
Snake.
excellent, yep.
And then lelech.
Lech, yep, that's right. Okay, Elizabeth, line 5, please.
Le, mer,
Yep,
le mer, oh, le mer,
no.
oh,
E.
le me.
Yep.
Uh, le me.
Yes, excellent, okay. Geraldine, line 6, please.
Lech, 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 lech.
Excellent, thank you. Jan, line 7, please.
Mele, 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 mele.
Very nice, thank you. Joyce, line 8, please.
May, wait,
Meh.
it's the X, so it's
Yeah.
meh.
Yes.
And then it's lech,
No,
and then
it's
it's-
just, wait a minute.
okay.
Don't add a sound that isn't there. So you've got meh, and then you
Meh.
have leh.
So le,
Yes,
the
much-
E and the L, okay. And then,
skip that. Skip the next one, because it's
okay. And then the long A, so it's
not long A, the 3 dots are like
3
the E.
dots is E, like
Yeah.
pet. So it's meh, le,
Excellent.
and then it's meh, le,
Yes,
and then it's meh, le.
yes.
And then
Okay,
what's the the
what's
thing
that
at the end?
punctuation? What do you think that is? It's a punctuation mark. Come
Oh.
on, you know what it is. It's an exclamation point.
Okay, I'm slow
Okay.
at this, but
No, no,
okay.
that's okay. That's okay. It's a exclamation point. You know, sometimes when I'm teaching and I use texts that others have written, I sometimes think to myself, I wish they had asked me before they released it if I could edit it, because I would have suggested certain things like, why stick an exclamation point on this line right now? It's confusing to the student. The reason it's there, by the way, is because that's an actual word. And so they're putting the
Uh-huh.
exclamation mark there so that you can recognize that here we go. Here's a real word. Okay, melech means
Melech.
king.
Right.
Melech means king. And so in most of our prayers, a lot of our, you all said that you go to services and so are familiar with some of the prayers. So what we have is all prayers basically start as follows. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech. Okay, Melech, that's the word. And so they're highlighting it. Melech, that's the word from the prayer. All prayers start that way. Well, most of them anyway. So there you go. You've read a real word.
No.
Melech. Okay, Irene, you get to practice that.
And we're on 9.
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Melech, 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 Melech.
Yes, very nice. Thank you. Elizabeth, line 10, please.
Me melech, me melech, me melech.
Yes, excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, are you ready to continue?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, now, on this page, we just saw the h sound at the end of a word. And so it looked like I'm playing with some pipe cleaners. So hopefully it looks like this. Hopefully I'm holding it up correctly.
Mhm.
Okay, now, if I take the bottom part of this letter and I bend it so that it looks like a backwards, a backwards C. Let me go like that, a backwards C, right? I mean, it's hard to see because I'm holding it, but so this backwards C is that letter, the same letter in the beginning or the middle of the word. Remember I said that a number of the letters change their form at the end. This is one of them. So at the end, it looks like this. In the middle or the beginning, it looks like a backwards C. The bottom part just folds up, so to speak. Does that make sense, I hope?
Mhm.
Because it's supposed to make sense. Okay, good. So now let's skip to line number 3, since the first 2 lines don't have vowels, so that's really, you can't pronounce them. Let's go to line 3, and I think, who read last? Was it Elizabeth or was it Geraldine? I forget. It was Elizabeth?
I think so.
Okay, yes, so do I. Sometimes I write these things down, but not always. Okay, so Geraldine, I'm going to skip over you because you know this already, I hope, and I'll go to
Yes.
Jan. Jan, please, line 3.
Chi, 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 chi.
Excellent, excellent. Joyce, please, line 4.
L-E. He,
Okay.
he,
Wait a minute. Wait. The single dot is E, so we start with
Right.
chi.
I can't do that. He, ha. He,
Okay.
ha.
No, we haven't learned yet. We've learned A like in a snake's eyes, so it's, so try again, please.
Ha.
So it's he, hey.
He, hey.
Yep.
He, hey. Hey, he.
Okay, try to get that h sound in the throat.
Yeah, I
If you
never
can-
could do.
if you can.
Okay. And then he, he. Can't
Nope,
do
it's 2 dots, so it's he.
he, A.
Heh.
Hey,
Yeah, hey, excellent, yep.
and then hey,
Hey, try to get that close.
K,
Yep,
and K. K. So I
okay, so
can't do that hook hook.
actually you can, you're doing it. Hey, hey, hey.
K, K, K. Okay.
You got it.
all
Okay.
right.
So let me see, where were we? Okay, line 5, please, Irene.
So it'd be he, Lee,
Yep.
and he, me,
Mm-hmm.
and he, me,
Excellent.
and he, lach,
Uh-uh,
lech,
right, Silech, yep.
and then it would be hey,
Yes, Lechech, excellent, excellent. Elizabeth, please, line 6. Oh,
The-
so there's nothing under the Lamed that, there is a, okay. Again, if they'd asked me, I would have done this book differently, but they didn't ask me, so I have, when they don't have, there is a silent vowel. The silent vowel would be under that Lamed, but we haven't learned it yet. So just say the sound of the L, the O, and then continue. Please, Elizabeth.
Leche, 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 leche.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, Geraldine, line 7, please.
Milache, 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 milache.
Okay, excellent, thank you. Jan, please, line 8.
Melache, 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 Melache.
Okay. That sounded good. My preference is to come to a dead stop when you don't have anything under the letter, so that in both those lines, the line 7, it would be meal, dead stop, meal, hey, without the F.
Male, in a male hay?
Yeah, I would prefer on line 8, it's male, hey, dead stop, male, hey. You
Okay.
have nothing else to do with it. Okay. Line 9, please, Joyce.
Oof. Me, me,
Mel?
no, Mel,
No, no, no.
no, A. It's the A sound.
Okay, so wait a minute. First of all, you've got the Mel.
Yeah.
then Mel, stop, and then add the last letter. Hey,
Oh.
Mel, hey,
Mel,
Mel.
hey, Mel, hey, Mel, hey, Mel, hey, Mel, hey.
Right, excellent. Okay, Irene, please, line 10.
Mel, hey,
Tim,
again.
It's, no, it's,
It's leche,
yeah,
leche, 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 leche.
yeah. Okay, so, Elizabeth, I want to give you a final chance to read, so why don't we go back to line number 7,
7,
please.
okay. Me leche.
Okay,
me
remember,
leche.
wait a minute, don't go lift. You have to have a dead stop.
Oh,
Meal,
yeah, okay.
okay.
Milche, 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 milche.
Okay, excellent, excellent. All right. So, I'm going to stop here. And, because my DVR says it's 2:29, that's the most accurate clock, timepiece I have in my apartment. Everything else has lots of different times on them. We will begin on page number 6 next time. Please practice. And I'm putting a yellow sticky so that I can remember that this is where we're going to start on, what's today? Today's February, I don't know.
10.
February 10, so this will be February 17. If you have any questions in between, please feel free to reach out. You could call me. All my emails have my landline as well as my cell phone number. So you can call me at any time. I don't mind, you know, you're practicing and you forgot something or whatever. And that's fine. I will send so what I typically do, just so that you know, I will send an email. Hopefully during the day on Thursday, but sometimes I forget. And so if I forget, I'll send it. Oh goodness. I'm sorry to hear that Sylvia has COVID. Please feel better quickly. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. I will send a reminder with the link on Thursdays. Sometimes it'll be very late at night. I am a night person, contrary to what everybody thinks, but I really am a night person. I wake up at 10 o'clock at night, making it hard to go to bed at a reasonable hour, which is why, because I need to get up early, I set 5 alarm clocks so that I will in fact get up. So if you don't have an email for me on Thursday night, I will send it Friday morning. I really try to do it Thursday night, but oftentimes I'm doing something else, going to theater or doing this, that, or any other little thing. So you will hear from me, and I will send out later today, most likely, information on how to access the recording so that you can review it and see what you know we went over today.
Super.
Carol,
Thank
may
you
I
so much,
remind-
Carol.
Sure.
Thank you.
Carol, may I remind you that you're going to find out the information for what class I'm to be in?
Yes, thank you for reminding me. I will do that. So I
Thank
want to
you.
wish everybody a Shabbat Shalom and
Shabbat
a good
Shalom.
week. And I will look forward to seeing you next week.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
Shabbat
Shalom.
Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Carol.
My pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Take good care.
Yeah.
So, okay. So Sylvia, I recommend, because you missed the beginning of the class, I recommend that you look at that by Wednesday, there'll be a recording of the class. So the very beginning of the class, everybody introduced themselves. And then at some point we started starting on page 2 of the text. You do have the text, correct? Yes, nod. Yeah, okay. I mean, I have mine in a loose leaf binder, but yeah, okay. As long as you have the text, we started on page 2 and you'll hear everything I had to say so that you can bring yourself right up to speed. Okay? And please feel better. I'm sorry to hear that you have COVID. That's not fun, I hear. Friends of mine have had it, so please stay well. I wish you a refuah shlema, a complete and speedy recovery, and I look forward to seeing you next week.